What's good, good people? This is day number 2 of pool play action from Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Man, this World Cup 2025 is off to one heck of a start. He's Boz Rosendahl. I'm Kyle Montgomery. This show is all about breaking down everything that happened here on a day where the storylines were absolutely crazy. I think today, day number 2, was defined by upsets, shocks. We got a lot to get into. 40 games now in the books. We finally can catch our breath after a wild day, huh?
Yes. Big day. Look, we had some rain predictions.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had a storm. Today the rain stayed away. I'm very happy about that. So we finished up all the games on time. And as you mentioned, a lot of upsets, a lot of storylines to get to. What a day.
Yeah, we gotta start with the biggest shocks of the day. There were several of them. We can go down a long list of from the France men going 0-2, from the Chinese men starting 2-0. Who saw that coming? How about the Germans? We thought they'd be tired coming off the World Tour Masters, and yet they do their thing as well. Let me tell you, or you tell me, what was your biggest shock in this one?
The biggest shock to me was Australia's win over Serbia, 21-17. I think Serbia struggled with the Australian athleticism. The game came down to the wire. It was Dylan Stith actually getting Australia started with a bunch of twos and a bunch of inside scores, but late it was Antonio.
Yes.
He went volcanic, and he had 10 points. 9 of them came in the last stretch of the game, Australia picking up a win over the number 1 team in the world. Huge. Now, on the women's end, I got to reference Japan.
Yes.
They put on a clinic playing with pace. They played at hyper speed, and they had Fuyuku Takahashi go off for 12 to beat the Netherlands, who was heavily favored coming into that matchup.
Well, the Japanese play at such a frenetic pace, and for them to start off 2-0, I think they got a chance to maybe be a bracket buster as play continues. Your women's team of the day, it could be, I'll let you tell me. Who do you like?
I like Spain. Yeah. Spain came in, all business, picked up 2 victories. First took down Ukraine in a big victory. It took them a long time to get going in the last game of the day. Understandably so, because they played against the home team, Mongolia. The crowd was into it. The Mongolians were physical. But at the end of the game, they got their offense clicking, and with 20 points. 2-0 on day 1 for Spain. I like that. That's a confidence builder.
There are a few men's teams that came out of today's group play action unscathed. So a variety for you to choose from. But which men's squad impressed you the most?
I like the young Germans. A win over Australia, which we know now can beat the number 1 team in the world. Another win over Madagascar. Again, you mentioned some questions coming in for Fabian Giesman and his ankle, which he twisted earlier in the week. He looked good. I like the combination with Leon Verteeg, who created off the dribble, showed off his mastery of the mid-range, and helped his team win those 2 games.
This is the biggest stage in all of 3x3's events, the marquee event of the year. So you always like to see those individual players step up and perform, put on a show. Who was our top scorer in the women's competition that really lit it up today?
Sarah Strong for the United States of America. She was a force inside. Not only did she score 19 points in 2 games, she also had 19 rebounds. She was a force underneath that basket, used her shoulders to create space. Look at stuff like this, finishing strong at the basket. Man, she was a load to handle. Inside out to the cup, easy lay. And she went 10 of 13 on one today.
Yeah, had a big double-double game, 10 points, 12 rebounds. Is Sarah Strong? Don't Michael Jordan still got his hoop earring in? It's the same answer. The Americans, the defending champions, undefeated and looking as good as you would expect from the powerful USA.
Yeah, USA, like you mentioned, very strong. 2 wins on the day, also taking down that Netherlands team. Again, Netherlands may have been favored coming in. USA, a young squad, but look at them looking like savvy veterans.
I think that was my biggest shock of the day. Me and you both thought Netherlands would be a favorite. They start 0-2 in group play. Now let's talk about the men's top scorer, the top bucket getter. He continues to impress, and another dazzling day.
Look, you call him the future.
That's right.
And Fabian Giesman showed that he has arrived. He is now. We start calling him now from now on. Man, at 18 points, he had dunks. He went 10 for 10 from inside the arc. Did not miss. Then He brought out the long-range shot as well, knocked down 2 of 5 twos to help his team to those 2 victories. Also knocked down all of his free throws, got his teammates involved whenever he was double-teamed, tore off the rim on that possession as well. Look at this. The youth is shining for Germany, and Giesmann at the front of it. Here he gets another look from range, and this Germany team is very surprising to me. Look, they've been on the rise, but they're still young. They just could. After a performance like this today, Giesmann with the hook there, the man has an arsenal of weapons, can score through contact as well. What a day for Fabian Giesmann.
The future is sensational. The men competed in groups A and C today, the women in B and D, so they'll have a day off before they come back for the 4th and final day of group play. But day number 3, we got some big games, some marquee matchups that we want to make sure you guys keep your eyes on when we get started back here tomorrow. A list of a couple in both the men's and women's category. Boz, which games do people need to keep an eye on tomorrow?
Well, obviously, we need to look at the Mongolian men's games, right? They're going to be very interesting. The Dutch going to be playing as well. Lithuania down 0-2. They're going to need to play big. Look, we put some games together for y'all. China against Poland on the women's end. That might as well determine the second place in that pool. Spain and Netherlands on the men's end. That's going to be maybe for the number 1 spot. Both teams are undefeated. Then look at United States and Latvia, a heavyweight matchup for the USA against a Latvia team that hugely impressed me on day 1. France and Canada on the women's end. That's a class for the ages.
I'm going to say Gluditis is could be player of the day. I'm gonna put that in the air. Any team you're worried about heading into their final day of group play?
I thought about putting Mongolia here as they're down 0-2, and I can't. I'm not even worried about them because we saw what the women's did out there today with the crowd at their backs. They fought like lions or like wolves. But Mongolia, they got the 2 toughest matchups out of the way. They played the USA, they lost. They played Latvia, they lost as well. Now they have Montenegro and Japan. I think those are 2 teams they can beat, especially with the help of the crowd. Now the question I have for them is, how good is Dulgun's calf? He grabbed that late in their last game. I'm hoping it's not an injury. I've not had an update yet. Dulgun is so important to them with his physical defense and his shot making. I hope he's okay. If he is, I'm taking Mongolia to get a couple wins.
Mongolian men have some work to do. They are one of many teams that will be in action tomorrow. Another 20 games on the slate. Do not be late. We're back with more action from the FIBA 3x3 World Cup 2025. For Boz Rosendahl, I'm Kyle Montgomery. Thanks for watching 3x3 Overtime. We leave you tonight with a look at the top plays of the day. You're going to enjoy these. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock, back here in Ulaanbaatar.